The 0.6.1 release is a relatively small release, but we've got a couple of things that we're excited to show you. So let's jump right in and get into it. So the first one is our new settings menu. So if you come up here and go edit settings, while it may look the same, there's a lot of new functionality and the back end is completely different and things work much better than they did before. So um, most of this stuff is the same, but we do have now an overall settings, which comes with these default profiles. So we've got minimum, low, medium, high, epic, and ultra. Each of these can now be saved, applied, and reset. So that is cool. Next, let's talk about in our DMX settings here, we've also got a new one, which is ArtNet's Map Flare Universe 1 to ArtNet Universe 0. So just in case you want your ArtNet Universe 1 to actually be ArtNet Universe 0, you can just check that box. And then under the application, this is a new sub menu. We now have things such as light cast shadows. So this is a new one that it is what it sounds like. Fixtures that have spotlights on them will now cast shadows. And so I'll give you a quick demonstration of what that looks like in a second. Next, we have enable beam blocking. So this is essentially a beam occlusion. So when beams hit anything, they will cut off. Beam blocking, beam blocking tracing accuracy and beam blocking frequency. Each of these are just optimization parameters that you can set to optimize this beam blocking setting. So let me quickly show you the light cast shadows here. So I'm going to put that on and apply. And let's open up a new show. And let's see, let's just bring in our moving head. And I'll bring up my dimmer here. And now you can see that if I put in a model, so if I take this cube for instance, throw it in here, now you see we have a shadow being cast. Now, one thing I want to mention is that this is only available for spotlights, so any fixtures that have like a spotlight on them, it does not work with point lights at the moment. So, but that's a cool feature. All right, next let's talk about our new fixture library fixtures. So let's open up a new show here and come back to our fixtures. We've added a couple of new categories. So of course we've got, let's see here, we've got Verilight now. So we have VL3000, VL3500. We have some Martin fixtures. We have the Quantum Profile, the Quantum Wash, and the Mac Aura. And then, of course, we have some fun ones here, which is a robot arm. So you can now control a moving head and a laser on the end of a robot arm. So that's pretty fun. All right, so that's the new additions to the fixture library. Next, we're going to talk about our fixture patch list CSV export. So say that you have a lot of fixtures in your scene and you want to export this out and see all of the fixtures you have and where they're all patched to. You can do that through our new export menu up here. You just click the export, go to patch list, and save the CSV wherever you would like, and it'll give you a bunch of information about the fixtures that you have in your scene. So that's pretty neat. Next, let's talk about, we have fixture number. So what we can do now is assign fixture numbers to any fixtures that we have in the scene. So let's remove these guys. So I've just added this one here, and you can see if we go to our general tab, we now have a fixture number. And we can set this to whatever, and this is just a good way to categorize your fixtures. We also include it here in the Add Fixture menu, where you can say from starting fixture number, and depending on how many you add, it will increment the number. Okay. And then finally, we have now channel range invert, which is one of my favorites. So let me bring in two moving heads here, and I'll show you what this does. All right, so we bring up the dimmer. I'm going to bring my zoom down a bit. And now you see that when we move the pan, both of them move in the same way. If we do the invert, though, on one of them, we can now actually have a mirrored movement. So I've now put both of them to, well, they're both on the same address in the same universe, and now one of them has the invert. And now if I move the pan, you can see while it's receiving the same DMX, it is also a mirrored movement. So you can find that over in the DMX tab here, and any of the functions that have this drop-down arrow will present the invert or flip values, which is the range invert. So you just got to check that, and you can invert any of these channels. So pretty neat. I'm happy about that one. And then on top of that, we've done a couple of bug fixes, specifically with the settings menu, and then a couple things with like movable mesh, and you can check out the release notes to see exactly what those are. So that is the update for the 0.6.1. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.